Welcome to the first greatest podcast in the world. Oh boy, we've got so many firsts here. We got ponies and wolves and foxes and dogs. Oh boy, some bronies too apparently. And in reverse alphabetical order, we have Shock Fox. Who are you?
I play the bass guitar, I rap, I also have an alternate Sona named Amplify the Fusky, who I hope eventually will become famous.
Never gonna happen! Yay! Dreams destroyed! All fun.
And my favorite quote in the whole world, gay!
And Miller, the German Shepherd. Doggy dog.
I am a Russian-German Shepherd. I play around with Ableton Live, which is a music audio. I mostly like to be outdoors, so I do lots of outdoorsy things like biking, fishing, hiking, camping. I also do a lot of photography myself.
Now, wouldn't you call yourself a Russian Shep instead of German Shep?
I confuse myself when I think about that, so I don't like to think about that.
All right, Maxwell Fox.
Hi, I'm Maxwell Rogers. I create content for random things and make music on the side.
I like it.
I am Kima. You may also know me as DJ K-Light, who was invited to DJ at FAU for 2 years in a row and couldn't make it because I am poor.
That's all right. I'm sure you could hitchhike on a train, just like they did in the 1800s movies. I am Khord Kitty. I am an actor, piano player, songwriter, filmmaker, and lots of fun stuff. But what I like to do most is huggle and snuggle and all that crap.
Hi, my name is Kaliber. I am nothing really special to the furry fandom. Kind of still trying to get my name out there and doing things with it. But when I'm not being fluffy, I am still a college student, trying to go for that business degree and that computer science degree. I have high hopes and expectations for myself, and yeah, I'm an all-around guy.
Hi, my name is Flash Timberwolf. I'm from South Jersey. I work full-time for a auto parts warehouse. When I'm not working, I like to draw, and I also like to perform stand-up whenever I get a chance to.
Hello, I'm Faith. My daytime job is I'm a cook in a kitchen. We do a bit of catering here and there. Outside of work, I'm just getting into the lighting industry, starting that up with my friends.
Well, considering you're a pony, I hope you don't get into the glue industry.
Oh, that's funny.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Groner.
Because I'm a selfish bastard. Let's get into my topic first. Famous furs. All right, so there's...
Hi, I'm Buddy, and I want to be just like everyone else.
Maybe I should have renamed this Popu fur, because there's not really any famous furs. Well, actually, there's one sort of famous fur. All right. So, just 2 days ago, I was listening to National Public Radio, and they had an interview with that guy who made that song, I think it's Party Hard or something, I don't know. But it's a guy who came out recently as a furry, and his nose is always bleeding in all of his pictures.
Interesting.
Well then.
Oh yeah, isn't it? It's Andrew WK.
Yeah, and he also does a column in a local newspaper that I read sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, the Metro in New York City. It's a free newspaper. So there you go. I think he's probably the most famous fur I can think of because more people have listened to that song than have heard of Uncle Kage. Probably. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're correct.
So there you go. I think that's probably the most famous fur now, but do we have any disagreements?
Not really, considering I never heard of this said person.
But I'm sure you've heard of Fox Butlet Gifts a lot, right?
Of
No.
course.
No.
Everybody loves Telephone.
Oh yeah, then there's Telephone, who I am on very good terms with, just saying.
Oh.
Telephone, the proud owner of Two's soul.
Yup.
So you're connected with Telephone, but you just haven't gotten around to asking her to be a guest on the podcast.
Why would I do that when my fiance's in this podcast with me?
Ooh.
Hi, peoples.
I don't know.
Who's your fiance?
Me.
Mr. Miller over there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Congratulations.
Let's see. Now we got to guess who's the top.
Well, for everyone who listens to this podcast, they would have heard him mentioned a few times, but now he's actually in the podcast.
Now, I just feel like there's just three awful rumors that I think should get cleared up first, one big rumor is that all furries have fursuits. The other rumor that keeps going around is that all furries have mersuits.
Yes.
I don't even have
And
a
the other rumor is that all fursuits are mersuits. So it's like it's hard to clear those up when like more people probably think that
we could
fursuits than there are furries in the fandom. Like that.
We could debunk those three in like one statement. That statement is multi-$1,000s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
another statement is wearing your carpet or wearing your couch while having sex.
Yeah, that's
pretty well.
Kage Khord.
And Khord, remember where that list came from? A very reputable source. The list of which you're speaking of, where everybody said everyone has fursuits and stuff, started in 2001 by a piece published in the best, most informative, and reputable magazine ever, Vanity Fair. So there you go. So people who read Vanity Fair, who were considered, I don't know, avant-garde at the time, were just like, oh, these furries, they're so gross, and they have all these furry suits, and then they screw each other in them. Well, then that passed down to everyone else, and then that's where everyone gets that stereotype today.
Really?
Yes. There is actually there was a paper done a few years ago by my alma mater's rival, Kent State University, and two colleges in New York State, and Uncle Kage was one of the people who wrote it, and it goes into detail. It's an academic study, it was published on file, and that's how I was able to get it as a college student. And it basically goes in and talks about the stereotype when it was set up, and where people are drawing their information about furries from. And those are one of the things, is that everyone has a fursuit. Everyone likes to screw in that suit. Most furries are guys, and it basically lays out the stereotype for furries that we love and know today.
Well, most furries are guys, and we gotta kind of say that one is for the most part
and
true.
they debunk like I think it's like 15 characteristics of a furry, and one of those is the male, and the male actually remains true. However, they said that most furries are gay. That actually is not true.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I'm like definitely the straight guy sitting here.
Yeah, me too.
Weird.
So, Shock Fox, tell us a bit about this road rage.
Oh, road rage.
Oh, yeah.
It can be many things. It can be entertaining. It can be annoying. It can be a good vent if you've had a bad day. So,
Could be demoralizing if you're the person on the other end.
Probably not a good idea to road rage on your way to Anthrocon 2012.
That reminds me, there was this new video that came out which had like this woman, and she was like banging on the door. You saw it, and then there was these 4 people in mascot costumes, and they just like came. I don't know if they kicked her, but it was just
that one I didn't see, but I have seen a couple different videos over the past couple weeks of road rage, and one was of this blonde lady. I guess this guy in a truck or whatever cut her off, and she started screaming at him with her son in the seat beside her.
Oh, wow.
And then another one I just watched today was of a Muslim guy who accidentally cut someone off, and they had to go off the road to get it, and he actually pulled over and stopped to check if they're okay. Well, this lady just went off on him, telling him that... like calling him all these racial slurs and telling him that he's going to or that she's going to kill him and all that.
She's probably from New York.
Yeah.
Alaska.
Oh. She must have moved from New York to Alaska.
I've had my
That's
own bouts of road rage, and Miller can vouch for me for that. But I've had many different ones, like some things just set me off. Is like the main one is people who don't signal when they change lanes. That drives me absolutely insane.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Just by and this is because my commute more than 100 miles a week is on the freeway, and I have to deal with that quite a bit. How are you not dead? I figured you'd have a blood vessel. I figure because the amount of times I see people not do that, I figure your brain like a blood vessel in your brain is probably just going pop on more than one occasion.
Oh no! Usually after 3, Miller has seen me let go of the steering wheel and just start a slow clap because I'm getting so frustrated.
For any of you that think that is kind of bad to do, his car is it drives straight. It's got a front wheel alignment. It doesn't turn off to the right.
Oh.
So when he lets
Thank-
go, it keeps going in the direction he had set the wheel in.
Yeah.
As he does this slow clap, and it's usually 3 claps, then he's done.
Yeah.
I think the
Unless it's
best
someone really dumb.
And
the
then
best bout of road rage I've ever had was, like I said, road rage on the 2012 journey to Anthrocon. Get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, had everything ready, but I ended up taking out the trash. And when I put the trash down, I put it on top of another trash bag, which I guess was covered in cat urine. And I happened to be wearing my signature Happy shirt, which if anybody ever looks at my character, they'll see.
Yeah.
And I'm walking through the house, packing up the rest of the stuff. I'm like, what the hell smells like piss? And finally, I'm like, wait. And I lift up my shirt and I sniff it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was ranting and raving the rest of the time while I was packing because I had to change my shirt and I wasn't going to have any time to wash that shirt. And as I'm going down the road, I'm like, I swear to God, if there's a cat that gets in my way, I'm going to run it the hell over. And no sooner I say that, 5 deer. I'm like, this is not what I want to hit.
That's someone who's usually in this podcast. It was Anthrocon this year. Miller and I were in my car, and Cobalt, Dragon, and an Australian fur were in the car behind us. Well, I looked behind, and it was starting to get night out, and I saw he was riding my ass like no tomorrow, because they were using my GPS, right? So they're following us, and they didn't want to lose me in the night.
Through the back window at your GPS.
No, he was following my tail lights. But anyways, what happened was I told Miller to send him a text saying, hey, back off in case there's any wildlife. Not even 2 minutes after that, deer runs in front of a Dodge truck in front of me. Dodge didn't even get phased. He just kept on going.
Deer? More like venison.
No, he missed the deer, but it was like,
Okay.
I didn't see taillights, nothing. But after that, Cobalt dropped back like a good 10 car lengths.
It was.
done
Well,
with
see,
this.
it's part of Dodge. It's part of Ram's new tagline, "Guts, Glory, Ram." He was going for the guts part, apparently. There, all over the front of his truck.
Quick fact for you on stuff like that: if a Dodge truck like that hit a deer at the speed we were going, which was around 120, it would hit the front bumper, flip over, and land in his box. He would have had free meat for about a year.
Deer dinner.
That's 120 km/h. That's 70 miles an hour for those of you who aren't in the metric system.
Because, Canada.
Also,
Yes.
Speaking of deers getting hit by trucks, have any of you observed like the massive splatter of deer on a highway near you?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Oh,
Cord,
I
you
got a
live,
funny story
you
about
live
that,
in New York,
actually.
don't you?
Oh yeah, I live in New York.
So you've probably seen it, like when a semi just nails a deer head on straight center, and
Actually,
there's just nothing
I
left.
have-
But
Subway.
about that.
Deers don't give a crap about New York City.
oh, that's all right, yeah, because I live in upstate New York. But I had the misfortune one year of driving behind one of those said trucks that hit a deer just square head on. And yeah, that was a fun mess to clean up.
Also, back to the road rage, another thing that gives me a bit of road rage is the people who floor it to pass you and then turn off right away on the next turn.
Oh, that is. I hate those.
And
Yep.
yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a few of them that set me off, but I'm trying to remember because usually it sets me off when it happens, and then I just forget about it.
I have a story about what sets me off. If you guys
Stuff
wanna
like
hear that.
people leaving their brights on when they drive by you at night, even if you flash them to tell them to turn off their lights.
So
I
a
think-
comment about hitting deers with semis. I spent a semester working at a truck shop. Now, one of the funnest things you ever get to do is essentially be the shop mechanic's handyman because you're in a co-op. Well, said truck hit a deer going highway speed. This truck was loaded down 6 tons more than the truck weighs. The truck weighs 6 tons. So on top of that, you have 12 tons in the trailer, 6 tons in the truck.
Mhm.
So mass of this object going at said velocity hitting smaller mass, yeah, it was quite the mass. I had never even got the idea that you could turn a red truck redder than it was to begin with.
Really?
It was a very, very bad
Fire
mass.
engine red becomes crimson red.
They do actually have a game where you can hunt now, and it's free.
Really?
It is.
It's called
Steam.
Oregon Trail.
Nope,
It's
it is
called-
on Steam. It is called The Hunter. You play this game. It is like you're playing. If any of you play stuff like DayZ, you'll recognize the graphics right away because it uses the same engine. But you literally sit there, walk around, track animals, and hunt them. That
That
is
sounds like
literally
fun.
what the game is.
And you don't have to go outside and
Or-
be cold or
That
wet.
sounds as interesting as Train Simulator.
Hey, don't knock that crap. I
Goat
love Train
Simulator.
Simulator.
Yeah, Goat
Hey.
Simulator.
I can't say anything. I play Flight Simulator, so
Hey, considering I have like 102 hours alone on Train Simulator, I have to argue with you.
yeah.
When are they
I'm-
gonna, when are they gonna start
Like you
coming
playing
up with
that.
stuff like Turnip Simulator?
Oh boy,
Fox
Turnip
Simulator.
Simulator, I really want that.
There
Oh,
is
man.
actually a Rock Simulator 2014.
Can we get
Yes.
Congress Simulator going? I would like to see that game happen. Congress Simulator, we get to get paid and do nothing. Delightful.
Taco Bell Simulator.
Well, they do have a Go Simulator.
Sounds like my job.
World of Warcraft Simulator.
So I get to experience what it's like to be 200 pounds and reek of Ritalin. Oh, it's great.
Excuse me, sir. I just happen to be playing the beta right now while we're on this damn call, and I am like 130 pounds.
Do you use reek of Ritalin, though?
No.
Okay, good. See, I'm proud of you.
Just Vaseline semen.
Excuse me, sir, do you... Never mind, I'm not gonna go there.
On the subject of semen, let's talk about Brony.
Oh my god.
Finally.
That's a great way to
How the hell did that get there?
Perfect segue.
Yes.
Well, no, trust me, it didn't get in there. It came out of there.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, God.
Hey, quit it.
oh.
Why do
Oh,
you
yeah, I
guys
went
hate-
there.
Why do you guys hate
Oh.
bronies so much?
Why do we hate Brony so much?
Yeah.
You don't.
I don't hate
Nobody hates.
Yeah,
no, we don't
Yeah.
hate them. I almost said nobody hates bronies, and then I realized how stupid and wrong that was.
Nobody hates bronies.
Oh yeah, only
It's all
everybody after you leave the room.
But bronies,
Oh, God.
see, here's the thing, and one of the things I sat on, I went to, one of my first convention experiences as a furry was actually a brony convention. And of course, that, that meant I got to see everything from the other side of the fence, and they're weird. But it's okay, it's a good weird. No, it's
What
a good
convention
weird.
did you go to?
I think
I went
there are
to
different
TrotCon.
levels of brony.
Uh,
There's
look
like
it up.
there's like I have to be a pony level, and there's like I watched the show, it's all right. Rainbow Dash is hot.
I think one of the biggest things is that. Okay, before I continue, not gonna lie, the whole first season I thought Rainbow Dash was the guy.
It's okay, we all think Rainbow Dash is a guy.
Everyone
Just-
thinks that.
And back to it is what I was going to say. Was one reason why I think it's also hated is because it's adults watching a children's show.
That's usually it.
Yeah, I
People
can see
don't
that.
get it.
I mean, you get the same problem with furries, though. It's like, why are you a furry? I don't know. There's many reasons why I may or may not be a furry.
Yeah.
I either didn't grow out of Disney, or I just enjoy having my own cartoon character. Or I want to be a fox in my spare time.
Let's see, I just want to do one public service announcement. If you happen to be a real horse owner and you watch My Little Pony, please don't paint cutie marks on them.
Or
see.
if you happen to own horses or have the permission to be near horses and watch My Little Pony, please, for the love of all things that are holy, that horse is not the same. Don't think about it.
Well, but
Don't thought they do could it.
all fly, Kaliber.
No, it's not just flying. It's,
Just because
Oh,
you
shut
put
up.
a piece of cardboard rolled up into a cone and put it on its forehead does not mean it has magical powers.
I just want
You
to
sure?
say something about the whole My Little Pony brony thing. Do bronies actually know that horses and ponies don't actually smell the best and have the best things?
Oh, they
Yes.
do have the best things. I don't know what you're talking about, Max.
Well, no, like
You mean horses don't smell like fresh cut spring flowers and rainbows?
Well, I'm just wondering if people know that. I mean, I understand it's a cartoon, and the cartoon can be how it wants, but I guess that's I don't know.
If they made that cartoon any shred of realistic, you would see piles of brown everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to ride horses at a farm, eventually I got used to the smell, but if you go to any horse farm, there is an overwhelming horse poop stench that it's never gone.
Really clears the nostrils out.
It does.
I guess you do get used to the smell because I used to work around horses quite a bit. And it didn't really bother me. I guess I just got used to it.
Yeah, kind of like in my spare time, I volunteer at a horse rescue shelter. And we rescue horses that are malnourished, that have been abused and all that.
Oh, you mean like having cutie marks drawn on them, that sort of abuse?
Yeah, something like that.
Of course.
My favorite pony is Flutterdash.
Oh, God.
What?
All right, let's move on. I think we've talked about
Oh,
bronies
why are we
enough.
moving on?
Favorite pony.
Because we've talked about bronies just way too much.
Favorite
course.
pony is Rapidash.
You
My
guys have no sense of humor.
Mine's Crabadash. Oh, she does scat.
My
Oh, God.
Let's not bring that up as a topic, please.
Oh, why not? It's the perfect
On
thing
next
to talk
week's
about.
episode-
If we're gonna bring up a topic like that, why don't we just talk about baby furs and just get it over with?
Oh.
You've
Oh,
been
sure.
to E621. You've been to Ike Buddy. Don't tell me that you haven't thought about Crabadash.
But one thing I have
I
to say
can't-
about
I can't
bronies
even.
is
We do need to move on from the ponies now.
bronies are more
glad
popular
it
than
flew.
furries are.
No, lies.
Yes.
Lies,
No,
slander,
we are more
blasphemy.
popular than you are.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, we-
popular, but does that
space.
mean the quality? What is the quality of your division of the fandom kind of stick out as?
Don't worry,
Foxes. No, nothing else needs to be added.
Oh yeah, that's right. Foxes definitely are the
Faith, but before we move on to the next topic, one question. If you are a brony if you are a fan of My Little Pony and you're kind of older and you're a hermaphrodite, are you a brony or a pegasister?
Oh,
Megapony.
Aren't you?
Christ.
Aren't you
A
like
a broga sister?
No, no.
Broga sister.
Wait.
I want to have just Faith answer. Faith,
I-
tell me what's the answer.
That's such a hard question. It depends. There's a lot of variables. I would say you would be a brony over a Pegasister because Pegasisters in the My Little Pony fandom are shamed. A little
They're
bit.
shamed.
Yeah. From
Why?
I don't know. I've just heard this here and there from some of my other furry and brony friends.
They're just too special.
I guess if you're proud of being an adult man who likes ponies, then you got to be ashamed of being a young girl that likes ponies.
Well,
Before
That makes sense, you know.
every video I've seen on My Little Pony, Pegasister is always said in just a really, like, the shamed kind of voice. Like, Pegasister kind of thing.
I don't think I've ever heard them say Pegasister on the show.
Really?
I was trying.
Unless it was in the fourth season of this airing.
I believe... no, it wasn't in the fourth season, but they have mentioned it in a couple of My Little Pony videos that are fan-made, and I'll link you guys to them.
Hold on, I'm terrible with this.
Oh yes, I will watch all of them.
and I
How
will
many
take notes.
seasons of FIM have there been now?
Pardon?
How many seasons of Friendship is Magic has there been now?
4.
Has there 5?
3.
4.
5? 4? I know I watched the first 3. I think I missed like most of the fourth one because I was AWOL from humanity. So
All right, Kaliber, help us. Take us out of this topic.
right,
Officially,
so-
to the moon.
No, I can't take you to the moon. It's only reserved for Cobalt. But well, actually, that's up to him because he's the one who can fly. I can't.
That's mean.
Anyway,
But
my
no,
topic
space
kind
is
of
fun.
encapsulates most of kind of what we're talking about and kind of what we're all here for, which is someone posed this to me the other day. Someone posed this to me. We were talking about furs in the fandom and everything, and someone had gotten onto the subject of me, and they'd asked me, they said, Kaliber, what exactly do you do in the fandom? And they said, do you draw? And I said, I can't. My stick people, they have 3 legs. Don't ask me how it happens. It just happens. And they asked me, do you sing? And I said, I'm tone deaf. I'm pretty sure that I am tone deaf. And they said, well, do you write stories? I said, I've tried. I said, I'm not really good at it. I'd like to go back into it, but I can't. They said, so what is it exactly that you do here? And I'm like, I'm just a part of the fandom. Do I have to actually, like, I contribute, like, I tell them I do this podcast and everything. I said, do I have to really contribute something to this? And they're kind of upset that I kind of said that. And this brought the thing to me, which is just because I don't, like, actively contribute, like, physical, tangible goods.
Now, time out. You do, in fact. Actually, all of us, even if each one of us did not do anything, we still contribute to the fandom. There cannot be a fandom without people.
Right, but do you understand what they're upset because I'm not what they view as contributing. They view it kind of more as like bandwagoning.
Really?
That's a very gray area, though. I mean, because you get a lot of people. It's like, all right. I'm gonna go there and say, all right, what about a fetish community? It's like, all right, I show up in my latex getup, pony gear, whatever. It's like, are you really contributing to anything?
It's just latex. Knowing from experience, it's just latex.
But still, it is relatively on the same premise.
Exactly.
We have plenty of people in the furry community who do a lot of different things. I mean, I myself, I don't do anything. I can't draw. I mean, I've failed miserably at DJing at conventions simply because I can't get there. But even still, DJing isn't really contributing to anything. It's just like, all right, whoopee, there's a dance every night. Okay.
Yes, Khord.
What I might say to
hear you on that one about DJing. Jeez.
What I might say to your friend Kaliber is, you know what? The fandom is not entitled to your talents. You know.
Oh.
It's you know, you can be a consumer.
Right.
Not everyone is super special.
Right.
Secret squirrel.
Right. Exactly.
Except for you guys, everyone here's super special.
I am like helmet grade special. But anyway, I really think, and that's kind of what the point was that I brought back, was that, like, I'm kind of not necessarily the person who's making this stuff, but I'm the person kind of, I don't want to call myself a promoter because I view that kind of as a bad thing to be, but more of, I kind of help the fandom from within. I'm kind of the guy I try to be the guy that kind of stands there and helps promote ideas, promotes acts and stuff like that, and helps get them out there.
You are a friend.
Right. I'm the kind of guy who will sit there and I will financially back people. I will sit there and make sure that furry acts get to where they need to go, because in my mind, I support the fandom by making the fandom have an outward positive appearance in the public. I wear my Anthrocon shirts, both of them. This year's Anthrocon shirt and then that official black shirt with their logo.
I lost 2 of my Anthrocon shirts, but I have a few of them, so I don't feel too bad. But
I wear those shirts out in public because, especially in my area where I'm at, I'm kind of, I don't want to sound like I'm stuck up or anything, but I'm kind of well known, so people know who I am and they know what I stand for. And when they see that, they're just kind of like, wait, he's a furry? Oh.
You know the best thing is? When you go around, when you go walking around with your Furryland t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See,
people question that one because then it's then you have to explain to them that Furryland was Fernando's, and you have to explain what Fernando's was.
Right, and it's great, and it's fantastic because you're showing these people the culture. I mean, look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh practically loves furries now, excluding the cash portion there, but you know, the tons of money going in the city. But they love it because they love what it brings, because they're actually one of the few places on this planet, as a city, that understands what the furry fandom has to
Yeah,
offer.
which it's still surprising that it hasn't really spread out, but you're definitely 100% correct. Pittsburgh gets us.
That's why Pittsburgh keeps saying, you can have that permit, just keep coming back.
You want another yeah, I was going to say hospital. That's not, no, we don't need that. You want another hotel? Yeah, have another one.
It's a Freudian slip there.
Kaliber, what you said about, oh, everyone sees my shirt and they're like, they know what it stands for, I would disagree. I think a lot of people look at furry shirts if they're outside of the fandom and they're like, huh, it's some sort of thing there. Because the thing is, there's just so many organizations with anthropomorphic mascots that when you have an actual furry shirt,
Khord,
you have to have it explained to you.
Khord.
Because, I mean, it might be... I mean, you've seen organizations like that, right?
You misheard me. What I said was people see me wearing this shirt and they know what I stand for, like what my moral values are, what I stand for, because I was very actively involved in, especially at the university I attend, I'm very active with political injustice matters on the campus. I don't want to say I prosecute students, but I assist in prosecution of students, kind of. I'm like a student liaison. And
so you lie to get voted?
No, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a liar. But I am basically in charge of reviewing. At one point in my college career, I was actually in charge of reviewing case files of really sick and twisted kids doing things to other college students. It's really grotesque. I'll tell you guys sometime. But people.
I like that term. It's really disgusting. It's horrible.
You don't need to know any more about it.
I know I'm not going to say anything in this podcast, but basically, people understand that I'm a nice guy to come to. I was talking with people. I try to be friends with most of the people in my residence hall, and people really liked me. They really did. When I got sick, I came down with mono my last semester at the university here.
You're a nice guy to come to. Let me see some pics.
You're terrible.
I knew that was coming.
But
I know.
Basically, when I got sick with mono, I had a bunch of cards down near my door, and they were just like, Kaliber, we love you, or we're so sad this happened. And then they were really upset when I said I wouldn't come back this year. I'd take classes at distance. But people, you understand, the personality that I have is a really positive and uplifting one. And a lot of people do actually look up to me for some odd reason. I kind of tell them, oh, if you're looking up to me, you guys are seriously screwed. But people look up to me. And so when they see the furry t-shirt that I wear, they think, at least in my mind, I like to think that these people take a moment and say, he's a furry. And then that's the spark in their head, and they change their minds about who we truly are. I'm not going to sit here and I don't...
complete and flaming asshole!
Yes. I'm not going to sit here and say that we should all just sit here and start going out white knighting. That is a terrible decision. But I'm saying you can do it subtly.
Not all furries are created equal.
Not all furries are the creepy, stereotypical 300-pound, 5'4" white guy that sits in his mom's basement and faps to, furry porn. That's not actually what we are.
Okay,
the furry
so
fandom...
you're saying in Gabriel Iglesias' words, he'd be in the stage of, hell no.
Yes, pretty much. So, basically, I try to show people that the furry fandom is diverse, and it is it's way more than you expect.
Well, thank you for not telling them that it's die first, because I think everyone's sick of that shit.
Mm-hmm. So wait,
son of a gun. What?
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is you're a really nice guy and all that. People understand what you stand for, but at the same time, you end up getting friend-zoned because you're too nice? Wow.
No, because as you would know, Miller, I'm currently pretty much committed to Cobalt right now, and me and Cobalt are. I'm not even gonna go there, but we're practically.
You guys are far away.
When are you coming up here?
I'm planning on. I just got my passport the other day after after the State Department lost it in the post office. That was fun. But I did get my passport, and it's good for the next 10 years. And I hopefully, as of right now, because Cobalt and I are both in school, and Cobalt's school runs until July, he would like me to show up in July or August. So it's going to be a little bit of time. It's going to be about a year. But it gives me plenty of time to save up some money for... I don't know how I'm getting to Canada. That's the hardest thing right now, is getting there. If I can get there, I've got everything planned out. It's just...
And that's one topic we should talk about another day, being border guards.
Oh
Yes.
no. Yes, we can talk about those. I
Hey,
got pulled over
at least
by-
our border guards are a lot nicer than the States.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
agree.
The U.S.
Mhm.
border guards are nice to military personnel, though.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
respect
That was
you.
really interesting when we were trying to get over to the AC this year.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're going over the border, and I have another Canadian military member in the car with me, and he's questioning all of us, and then he found out me and the other guy were military, and then they went right for Miller, because he was a non-military one.
I love the questions they asked me though. Have you ever smoked, like, had in possession or whatever said illegal item? And I'm like, no, I don't even do that.
Cannabis
And they
or something
kept
like that.
asking me all these questions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you
don't
do cocaine? I drink coke.
It's like I don't do any of this. I'm literally with military members, so I couldn't do that to begin with.
You're
Right.
coming back over the border, like, oh, okay, have a good day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're from Canada? Well, have a nice day.
So far, I figured out the easiest way to get to Canada is the megabus. Like they
Really?
like,
Yep.
yeah, they like to go to Toronto or Vancouver, one of those things, for like I don't know, like $30, $40.
Depending on where you live.
I think that's
Yeah.
how
See, here's-
Bernard gets to Anthrocon.
See, here's the issue with this, though, and this is the issue. Is Megabus different than Greyhound? Because I was looking at Greyhound, and I had to make 30 connections, and I wasn't even going like up Pennsylvania because I live in Cleveland.
I
It wasn't
am,
like
I am like 90% positive that Megabus is a completely different entity.
Oh God, please! Because it wanted me to do like I would literally go. It said you would go an hour and then transfer.
Wow.
I only took the bus to Anthrocon one time. My advice to you is don't. Okay, that's it. I have
I
never
took-
taken my bus again.
The first time I went to Anthrocon on my own, well, I say the first time I went to Anthrocon on my own because the first time that I went to Anthrocon, one of my friends from Ohio actually came all the way out here to pick me up.
Wow.
But
Although that confused me.
think-
Why would the wolf visit the dragon if the dragon has the wings?
Well, see, because here's the issue: if he were to come into U.S. airspace, he would get a lovely visit from the. They would have to scramble the jets at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and that would be bad news bears.
Yeah.
He's a terrorist dragon.
That's hey, Fox News would be right on that story and be like, "Is this dragon a terrorist? Find out tonight at 10." I mean, like, you know, and I'm pretty sure they would say they'd get someone who was like a BS doctorate in dragonology, and they'd be like, "Yeah, he's a terrorist. He's totally coming over here trying to steal our money and our jobs."
I
Yep.
seriously just been sitting here for like the past 15 minutes of World of Warcraft open? Didn't even realize I had it open still.
So, our special guest of honor is Flash Wolf, the comedian for... Tell us a joke!
I came unprepared for this. I thought I was just going to talk and stuff. I didn't expect.
Okay, fine.
I
You don't have to say a joke. So, Flash, tell us, how did you begin in your comedian journey?
Well, a long time ago in the decade known as the 80s, when I was born, one of my earliest influences in comedy was Bill Cosby. He was my number one main influence in stand-up. There was a comedy concert film he did back in '83 called Bill Cosby Himself, which is my all-time favorite stand-up comedy concert. His whole take on like family and fatherhood and everything, and his delivery and everything is what got to me. But the problem with his type of comedy is that he's more of a storyteller than a joke teller. So trying to start off that is kind of difficult. So when I first started doing stand-up, the very first time I actually performed at an open mic was at this club in Northeast Philly. This was like way back in 2002. Because I was really rusty and was really nervous because it was my very first time actually speaking in front of a crowd. But I actually have no problem doing that because when I was in college, I took public speaking courses, which really helped me out a lot. I really don't have stage fright, to be honest with you. I don't mind speaking in front of people. In fact, that's pretty much the only reason why my friends are amazed that I do stand up, because I actually have the courage to stand up in front of people and talk. This is basically, that's what comedy is.
Mhm.
Even doing this requires public speaking skills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a bit.
Memories of the con.
I love going to MFM because it's one of the few small cons I love going to where you can actually volunteer like to perform the masquerade like that. That's pretty much where I got my start. It's weird for me because I get more laughs at fur cons than I do in any comedy club, to be honest with you.
Well, I
Probably
think-
because of cereal.
Well, I think it's the community here. I think a lot of the communities, it seems to be, in my experience, being out and about with the community, is that the furry community is more forgiving with stuff like this. And
Well, also, it's the niche. I mean, we're in the niche that the jokes are based on.
right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
sort of
all a matter of the audience and who you relate to. It's very, very difficult to find stuff the audience can relate to because different comedians do different kind of stuff. Some do topical humor, some do political humor, some do raunchy humor. Whatever they try to do is like some people can relate to it, others can't. It's all based on like who you're relaying it to.
But you can't go to a retirement center and do a whole set on bronies. It wouldn't work. They would have no idea what you're talking
You should
about.
definitely do deaf humor, though.
You said you performed at Fur Fright, which means that you might be performing at the next incarnation, right?
Yeah, it's very likely I will be at Apocalypse this year.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it because I've only been to Fur Fright like twice. First time I was there was in 2012. You know, the weekend the hurricane hit the area.
Oh, that's gotta be nice.
Yeah, that was a fun commute home. And my second time was last year. Well, I didn't stay at the main hotel. I was the one across the street. But I like being at smaller conventions more than the bigger ones. I mean, Anthrocon is nice, but it's gotten way too big over the years. I mean, it's a good con, but with so much going on and you're in a major city or anything, there's no time to relax or just hang out with people or anything. See, I like to just chill, just be with my friends, maybe be at a panel or two, be in a nice, relaxing atmosphere, you know?
No, I don't know what you mean at all.
Yeah, well, Khord, you don't know what relaxation is, but I think Miller, we had a nice group going on at Anthrocon. We were able to enjoy ourselves just fine.
Well, some might be able to, I guess.
Now, I'm curious whether you've talked to Tu, because as you know, Tu is probably one of the most famous furry comedians right now.
Well, I guess the two that mostly comes up to the top of my head is Tu the Randy Griffin, and you've got JR, who plays Pointy Weasel on the Fun Day Pop-Pet Show. Those are like the two major ones I can think of right now.
Have you been able to talk to them? I'm not really sure how close the comedian community is.
I've met JR a couple times. I saw him along with Babsy Wolf at Anthrocon a few months ago. Yeah, I got a chance to hang out with him for a bit. Don't really see too much of Tu. I have met him before. I think when he was at FAU a couple of years ago. I've seen his act several times. He's really funny. Throughout the years, kind of changes, but we need some more guys in there to kind of change it up a bit.
So you're saying that he's like the establishment, and you want some anti-establishment furs to come in and counter him.
Anarchy.
If you've seen my acts before, by the way, the link to my Fur Fight performance is up in chat. My stuff has always been different than most others. I mean, when you see comedians on stage, people expect to see the same type of humor over and over again. Oh, he's going to be just like, the last guy. He's going to talk about this. He's going to bring about that. I want to be different. Okay, see, I just bring up stuff I want to talk about because my delivery's a little different. It's not as raunchy as everyone else's. Mine's always been PG-13. Ish in that range. I'm not saying I'm clean cut, just saying if it's appropriate, then I'll bring up stuff like that. I don't just do it for the sake of doing it. You gotta do what you're comfortable with. You can't just be like everyone else. You gotta be able to do your own thing.
Although then again, if you're like everyone else, then you'll fit in.
Yeah,
and fitting in is what's cool.
Actually, that's sort of what George Carlin did at first. When in the 50s, when he was all in a suit. He was a lot more like other comedians. And then once the counterculture came, he really did his own thing, and then he stuck out. But I think being like everyone else, that's like a door into a bigger world. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like if somebody wants to be president, what they first do is they are all super duper moderate and whatever, and once they get elected, they do their own thing, which has nothing to do with what they said they were going to do before. Like comedians, right? Am I wrong?
Well, kinda, but to me personally, I find it better to do my own thing than to just follow the crowd. Sometimes if you see the same thing over and over again, it gets tiring, and you see the next guy do the same thing just like the other comedian did, it gets tedious. you know, you got to change it up a little bit. That's how I try to do it.
Now, how do you do it? Because I actually haven't seen your performances. I know I should have studied up on it, but these podcasts are not as well planned out as anyone might think.
Clearly.
These are planned.
I think before this started, I think pretty much almost everyone in this chat didn't know each other.
I knew Miller. That's about it. I knew Max too.
I didn't even know that you did a podcast, Khord.
Neither did I.
Yeah,
Guy in here.
yeah, you guys gotta read my statuses once in a while.
Who's got time to
I'll
read?
start being a regular.
Who needs reading? Reading is overrated.
Readings for doofuses.
Oh, so Flash, what do you think about those doofuses who read off of an index card? Because come on, that looks just so ridiculous.
Well, a lot of comedians, if you go to open mics, a lot of guys do that, especially those who start out, because they're just trying to get into it. Because look, seeing it and actually performing it are two totally different things. When you're actually up on stage, you're looking out to the crowd, it's a totally different experience. Because you see it on TV a lot, you think, oh yeah, I can do that. Then you're actually up there and you're like, what am I doing up here? I forgot everything.
Wait, I can't tell jokes from the audience?
It's intimidating, but if you're really into it, it can be done. It's not impossible. Some people can do it. Others, if it's not their thing, then they simply can't do it. But give it a try once in a while if you can.
I think it's easier to be a DJ because really all you have to worry about is going up there playing music and...
All right, well, cool. That's your thing. If you feel more comfortable doing that, then go do it.
Words are generally hard to think about.
They can be if you know how to construct an act, which is not really that easy. But if you really think about it, and trying to get jokes to flow during a routine, can be difficult depending on what you're talking about and what you're trying to segue into. My experiences in the fandom, my life at home, general observations that I make, basically my viewpoint, the world and stuff. I throw a little furry stuff in there, once in a while. Last year, for example, if you saw my Fur Fright performance, one of the stuff I talked about connecting stuff with furry is sports. We were in the middle of football season. And what I talked about is you need to have a tough-sounding animal name to make a good team, because football has a lot of bears, Rams, Eagles, Ravens, Seahawks, Falcons, tough-sounding names. But some animals, like puppies or kitties or butterflies, they're not tough-sounding names. They're cute, but they're not intimidating.
York City Foxes. Yeah, that sounds real appealing.
There is no professional team called the Foxes. There should be.
You can't use Fox in a team name, because when you hear Fox, you just I'm going on the furry end of it. So
I think slut, but that's just me.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
So, on the subject of Fox being sluts, Flash, how do you approach adult content in your acts? Do you have a particular group of jokes that you would only do at a nightclub or an adult furry panel, and then another group of jokes that are family friendly?
Well, mine's kind of in between. Like I said, PG-13-ish. I'm never I'm not against raunchy humor. Most comedians are good at it. I'm not. I kind of lean towards it. Like what I talked about, sports and team names. Like what I talked about last year was there is actually something called a lingerie football league. And what I was thinking is, I looked up some of the team names when I was constructing this act, and I've noticed that there's no team called the Vixens, which is surprising to me. You got a group of scantily clad women playing football, no team name called the Vixens. That's a perfect name for a football team like that. Can you imagine the mascot they'll use? Think about it.
Wouldn't they just use themselves as a mascot?
Dude, you don't even have to construct a costume. Just hire any box fursuiter out there and just give them a job. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And here's how I ended that joke.
I already think of 3 Vixen fursuiters that would easily go good for mascots.
Oh, but here's how I ended on that note, because I was thinking, because I know some people are thinking, yeah, right, Flash, yeah, you watch lingerie football for the sport. I'm like, yeah, you watch My Little Pony for the story. Give me a break.
Hey,
but I watch it for the plot.
Yeah,
literally,
kind of the nerve there.
Faith, did you just lose faith in him?
Yes, I did. It is all gone.
Wow, Flash, you just lost a fan.
Guys, it's a joke, okay? Have a sense of humor about yourself. I mean, I joke about myself all the time. I mean, think about it. I'm a 33-year-old guy. I live with my dad. You know, I have a low-paying job. You know, I'm still a virgin in my early 30s. You know, stuff like that. You know, and
Oh, no.
did I just say that out loud? Oh,
Yes, you did.
Oh.
Wait. If you so are you saying in 7 years you're going to be a 40-year-old virgin?
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. I'm going to be the Steve Carell.
Well, we will invite you back, and we'll make you special guest one more
Yes,
time.
and we'll get Steve Carell in here, and you two can be like the two 40-year-old virgins.
Well,
I think it's working out well.
And another thing I joke about is how me and Dad, you know, get along because, you know, he does know I'm a furry, but, you know, he doesn't like fully, completely understand it because this is a true story. Several years ago, after I was coming home from Anthrocon, he asked me, you know, what do you guys, you know, do at these conventions? So what I did was I showed him like, well, besides that, I showed him pictures I took at the convention. I showed him the convention center, the hotel, you know, the dealer room and stuff. And I showed him pictures of the fursuit parade. He took one look at his photos. He looked at me and he's like, okay, son, let me ask you something.
Are you adopted?
Have you had sex with any of these people? I'm like, what? He has asked me that. I just paused for a few seconds. I'm like, no.
Flash, you should have sat there and been like, you know what? I'm bringing home a litter. And just left
Long,
it.
exaggerated sigh.
Yeah. At least I didn't say.
I give up on you.
In all honesty, you know, we really do get along when he's sober. But the thing is,
Oh my god! Oh,
it's little jabs like that I do all the time. And here's something else. Recently, me and Dad were watching football, and that Kia commercial with the female hamster was coming on. And he took a look at me. Hey, son, this is right up your alley.
Oh no! Oh no!
I just looked at him like, okay.
Getting little kicks like that, though. I mean, you can't
make this stuff up, guys. This is my life, okay?
Getting little kicks like that. You can't complain about that. Your dad.
Hey son, there are these things on TV. Don't you masturbate to them?
That's being condescending.
Not while you're in the house.
Oh.
My father's got a bad habit of showing me foxes all the time, though. I think that's beyond being a furry. He knows that foxes are my favorite animals. So.
Mine too, besides ponies.
And then he finds that there's a fox on his Facebook page randomly because he leaves his computer unattended.
Wait, you mean there actually are sexy singles in my area that want to talk to me? No way! Oh, they're fursuiters.
This is why you put passwords on a computer, okay? You can't leave stuff like that on all the time.
Oh, wait. You know what, Flash, you'd be surprised. My computer is not only password protected, it's fingerprint protected, and I have most of my stuff encrypted because of this.
Smart man. Smart man.
I learned the hard way, trust me.
Yeah. Hey,
there's no shame in being a furry. Password protects everything.
No. Well, here's the thing. See, guys are horrible at hiding porn, okay?
Yeah,
this is the one thing guys cannot do, okay? Look, and our father started this, okay? Look, none of us would have gotten into this if none of us would have ever gone to our dad's underwear drawer and found certain things, okay? It all starts somewhere.
Thank
God. How do you know the Slogger?
And then it goes back to us. I mean, and where do we leave our stuff? On the desktop image of our computers, okay? You gotta be careful what you use.
That's kind of like my sock drawer in a way. I mean, it's that's on my computer. No, like thank goodness I didn't have to experience the whole going through the sock drawer. My parents gave me an iPod Touch as a child and, you know, Google. And then that one kid at school who was like slightly more enlightened than you about furries and like showed you the way, and you're just like, oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that I had met that furry at an earlier age until I actually found out that what I was a furry, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, right. And legitimately, like with my story and everything, like how I found it. The first person he showed me was Crystal. So I'm able to get that joke really well because I realized that I'm a goddamn stereotype.
How so?
Because Crystal is the one that brought me into this fandom,
Everybody liked Crystal the Fox.
followed by
See,
Lucario.
that's interesting because I never saw Crystal. Well, I remember her from Star Fox and everything, but I never saw her in the fandom until about a year after I got into it.
I never played
I
Star
never
Fox.
played any of the games.
That's funny.
Nobody knew who Renamon was until all of a sudden she was gone.
Yeah, it's our fault she's famous.
Yeah, gotta blame the furries for that one
Khord,
because
Khord, can
Digimon wasn't even popular.
Can we find Renamon and get her on the show if she's not, like, in a hospital bed sick with, like, all these diseases?
Totally. Let's do that.
Yeah, we just need to find somebody who is the embodiment of Renamon.
I have a question, and you guys can answer it or not answer, but why are foxes always considered gay and sluts? I get the slut part, but
I have
I really
Okay, I'll tell you
don't know. I think it's just the fandom somehow did that.
No. I'll tell you what it is. So you know the word "yif"?
Yes.
yeah.
That originated from the sound that foxes make when they copulate.
Well,
Yep.
then.
Oh, it's
Oh.
interesting.
Now you know.
The more you know. Do 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 do.
You would have thunk. Would have thought that.
Also, the whole word "foxy," you know. I mean, if I say catty, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if I say foxy, you're like, oh yeah, she was foxy.
True. True.
So there we go. Stereotypes, truth, and yif. That's what caused the stereotype.
Well, all stereotypes start from some type of truth.
Yeah.
If we trust.
All right, now that we've said and if we trust, I think that's about time that we concluded our 25th episode of the podcast. Yay, 25!
Yay.
I'm so
25 is cool because people have 5 fingers, and 5 times 5 is 25. It's special!
Square
Khord.
number. Woo!
Khord, you're gonna get that college
Woo-hoo!
degree. I guarantee it. Khord, you're on your way to college. Screw the SAT. You just did 5 times 5.
So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for joining, and I will be recording a new episode in 2 weeks. Feel free to go to the comments section of the YouTube and give questions about what should be covered on the next episode.
And thank you all, and bye-bye!